Hello everybody, welcome. What I'm doing here is sharing how I made these cute jackets for my daughter. If you're interested, stay tuned. What I like to do is first start by making sure my stretch is from side to side. That way when she puts the jacket on, it's not constricting. And also I like to make sure it's turned the right direction, meaning right sides facing each other on the inside. So what I used was a jacket that I already made, or if you have a jacket at home that you would like to use, you can use that as well. Or if you wanted to use a shirt that fits kind of big, that would work also for creating this jacket. So what I did by first started tracing the bodice, as you can see. I left some space because I wanted to make sure it fits well. I'd rather always cut more than what I need. But anyway, I did that because I planned on using my sewing machine to sew the insides, because I just really didn't feel like using my surgery that day. So after completing that part, I like to trim off any excess and make sure it's as even as possible. And one of my pieces I have to cut in half because, of course, the front of this jacket, I'm going to add a zipper to it. So fold it in half, cut it open, you have two sides. I put those to the side because I wanted to continue cutting my pieces. Next, I cut the hood. I basically traced the hood that I already had. Of course, my fabric is right sides together, makes it that much easier. And when I finish tracing it, I can just go ahead and pin it together. And the part that I need to sew, I can just go ahead and stitch that part. Next, I'm going to use the jacket that I already have. At the waist part, I want to create, similar like the other jacket, I want to create like a pleated effect on the jacket because I think it's just very cute and girly for girls to have. Since my daughter's a girly girl, it works. So what I did was, her measurements for her waist is about 26 inches. So what I do is, I normally use double. Some people use double and a half, so that's what I basically did. And set that to the side. So for my sleeves, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm tracing what I already have, but I'm making sure that the stretch of my sleeve is from side to side again. And I like to leave a little bit on the wrist part. I like to leave it a little bit longer because she is kind of tall for her age. And I just cut around there, and then I flip it and trace it as best as I can because I want the armhole to match when it's time to put the jacket together. And as you can see, I sometimes use pins to keep myself in on track because I like to have my stuff laying down together. It makes it that much easier to cut out. So I cut out two sleeves, and you can go ahead and fold them, put them to the side. So now it's time to construct the jacket. What I'm going to do is place them right sides together on top of one another. In this video, I pinned from the underarm all the way down to the waist. Normally, I go ahead and pin the shoulder. I had to go back and trim the armhole a little bit more, so that's why I didn't do it in this step. And then again, like I said, I just sew down the sides. As you can see, it's already kind of coming together. My next step, I decided to go ahead and add the bottom part. So I like to measure the middle of the jacket, the body part, sorry, and then the middle of the bottom part, and I like to start there with my pleats. That way, when I start my pleats in the middle, as you can see, this time I went from the middle to each side, well, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. I did it that way because I wanted to come out even as possible. And sometimes you have to, go back and make adjustments to it if necessary. But I really didn't do any kind of measurements. I just kind of spaced it equally and added my pins. And as you can see, it took a little bit of time, but once I got it all the way to the end, I made sure it lined up with the top part. And when I make these cute jackets, I try to leave at least an inch for my zipper. Because I like to fold the fleece a little bit over my zipper when I put that on. I like to, make sure it looks really clean and aligned. And then once you finish pinning it, you can just sew straight down. You can use your serger, you can use a straight stitch from your machine. And I went back and measured. I normally measure first, and then, but anyway, I went and measured it to make sure I was on track when it comes to her waist, because I didn't want the jacket to be baggy. So with adding the hood, what I normally like to do, I pin it up and I go to my machine and do a straight stitch down for the both of the sleeves. If you like, you can go ahead and hem it. When I sew my fleece, I normally roll it about half an inch, and then I just do a straight stitch around that. And as you can see, I've added one of my sleeves already. The jacket is coming together. So for my hood, I like to go ahead and hem the front part of my hood before I close it up. That way, when it's time to attach it to the jacket, that's just basically all I'm doing is attaching it to that. And right here, I'm just closing my hood up to get ready to attach it. Now my next step is to pin my hood onto the jacket. Again, I like to start at the midpoint of the top of the jacket and the midpoint of the hood. Normally when I pin it this way, it's about an inch on each side left over. And a lot of times that's with a half an inch. That half an inch is the half an inch that I normally use for applying my zipper. And I just pin it around. And this is just me showing how I fold it and I pin it down before I hem around the bottom of my jacket. And I do it kind of the same way. I do a half an inch seam allowance, and I fold it and I pin it along. And I normally sew that with a straight stitch. Now when I do my arms, I do normally do a straight stitch, but you can do a zigzag if you like. That's the beauty of working with fleece. I just love it. Now I'm applying my zipper. For this particular jacket, I think my zipper is about 24 inches long, and this is a coat jacket. Coat zipper. So what I do, I start at the top and I make sure that the little metal piece on the zipper is aligned with the neck line of the jacket. And I start basically pinning down. Sometimes you have to move the zipper, zip it up out of your way to be able to go ahead and add your pins. I like to add as many as possible because when I stitch, I like to stitch very close to the line and just make sure my jacket looks nice. So as you can see, I just pretty much take my time and fold it all the way down. Now after using this zipper, I want to say it was about 1.5 inches left at the bottom. And I just basically, when I sew, I continue sewing and I just fold that one over and stitch it all the way down. And basically I do the same thing with the other side. I take the zipper up to the top and make sure it aligns with the neck. And I start pinning it from top to bottom. Now what I do like to do is compare the top and the bottom. So I will start for my second side. I start at the top and I make my way and have them meet at a midpoint, if that makes sense, because I want to make sure it's symmetrical. But as you can see, I'm only video with one hand, so I couldn't zip it right now. But this is the finished product, guys. I hope you like it. Thank you.